How do you build a bomber that looks like it flew straight out of a sci-fi movie all the way back in the 1940s? Well, that's the story of the Avro Vulcan. Let's dive into the fascinating tale of how this iconic delta-wing jet came to be. It all started just after World War II. The British government knew they needed a new kind of bomber, one that could fly higher and faster than anything before it, capable of carrying a nuclear deterrent right to the heart of the Soviet Union. The specification they issued, known as B-3546, was incredibly demanding. It called for a bomber that could fly at 500 knots, reach an altitude of 50,000 feet, and have a range of 3,000 nautical miles. For the late 1940s, this was pure science fiction. Avro's design team, led by the brilliant Roy Chadwick, took on the challenge. Chadwick tragically died in a plane crash early in the project, but his visionary work lived on. The team knew a conventional straight-wing design like the Avro Lancaster, for example, just wouldn't cut it. They needed something radical. That's when they turned to the delta wing. This triangular shape offered incredible strength, low drag at high speeds, and a massive internal volume for fuel and a huge bomb bay. It was a gamble, but a calculated one. But how do you test such a wild concept without building a full-sized, multi-million-pound prototype? Avro's solution was genius. They built a series of smaller, single-seat test aircraft called the Avro 707. These were essentially one-third scale baby Vulcans. 5 of them were built, each painted a different bright color, testing different aspects of the Delta Wing's flight characteristics. Can you imagine seeing these little, futuristic jets zipping through the skies in the early 1950s? They provided invaluable data, proving the Delta Wing concept was not just viable, but brilliant. They ironed out issues with control at low speeds and high angles of attack, paving the way for the real thing. Finally, on August 30th, 1952, the first full-scale Vulcan prototype, VX-770, took to the skies. It was a breathtaking sight. Its massive white delta wing, powered by 4 Bristol Siddeley Olympus turbojet engines buried in the wing roots, looked like nothing else on Earth. The test pilot, John Falk, even famously performed a barrel roll in this giant bomber at the Farnborough Air Show, showcasing its incredible agility. Building the Vulcan was a monumental task of British engineering. Each wing was a masterpiece of construction, a complex lattice of spars and ribs that had to be incredibly strong, yet as light as possible. The fuselage was essentially a pressurized tube attached to this enormous wing. Early Vulcans had a pure delta shape, but this was later modified. To combat issues discovered during high-speed testing, they added a kinked or cranked leading edge to the wing. This Phase 2 wing improved handling and allowed the Vulcan to fly even faster and further. Inside the cockpit, it was cramped. The crew of 5 sat in a coal hole on 2 levels. Only the pilot and co-pilot had ejection seats. The 3 crew members downstairs, the navigator, radar operator, and air electronics officer, had a much grimmer prospect if things went wrong. This was a stark reminder of the Cold War reality the Vulcan was built for. The production line at Avro's Woodford factory was a hive of activity. Thousands of workers meticulously assembled each aircraft from over 1 million individual parts. The sheer scale of the project was immense, a testament to Britain's post-war aerospace industry. From a wild idea on a drawing board to a fleet of sky-spanning giants, the creation of the Vulcan was a story of innovation, bravery, and groundbreaking engineering. It wasn't just a plane, it was a symbol of a nation reaching for the future. Thanks for watching. If you found that as fascinating as I do, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories from the golden age of aviation. See you next time.